Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I was really feeling like filming something where I can showcase some products and even techniques that are really effortless and really easy and really approachable as well. That's my favorite type of makeup. I always love to find products where I feel like they're very easy to work with and you can't really mess them up. So I figured I would teach you guys and showcase some of those products. I've got some really good things sitting in front of me that I can't wait to share with you guys. Also, today's video is sponsored by Flower Beauty. I love partnering with them. You guys know how much I love Flower Beauty. I know how much you guys love Flower Beauty. They let me choose my favorite products to share with you guys today, so I'm gonna be sharing a few of those. Speaking of Flower Beauty, and before we get into the makeup look, as a part of CVS's Epic Beauty event, and also to celebrate Drew Barrymore's birthday, which happy birthday, Drew. I love you so much. Flower Beauty is doing something really fun at CVS. All of their products will be buy one, get one 50% off. And this will go from February 21st all the way to the 27th. So this is a great time to stock up on your Flower Beauty favorites. So I will have all of the info in the description box down below. I wanted to make sure you guys were aware because we are all makeup obsessed, and who doesn't love when makeup is on sale? So yeah, everything is in the description. Let's get right into the tutorial. I'm going to start off with complexion today, and I really wanted to use a product that I have been genuinely using. It's been staying on my desk and I love it. Not only is this so fun to use, but it's also a really good product that I feel like really makes a difference underneath my makeup. I feel like I've been mentioning this a lot on my channel recently. This is the Flower Beauty Supernova Celestial Priming Whip, and it is such a fun product. I'm gonna make sure to give it a shake, and then I just distribute a little bit on my hand. Whoa. I will say you do want to kind of press slowly onto the cap so that you distribute about this much. I find that that size amount works for my entire face. I like to kind of warm it up in my fingertips, and then I just start to apply this all over the complexion. The thing I love most about this is the lavender color, which I feel like helps kind of even out my skin tone, and then also the radiance that it gives my complexion. I hope that that's coming across on screen the way that it looks in person, but it gives such a beautiful glow to the skin. It's so easy to blend out, but then it doesn't stay too greasy, which is why I really love this. And you can feel when it's like ready to apply your foundation, it starts to sink in and get a little bit more tacky. I feel like you can kind of see it on my hands a little bit. See how my fingers have a really nice sheen to it? Again, this has literally been staying on my desk for the past couple of weeks. I can't stop using it. I think it's beautiful. Alright, so now the complexion is primed and ready for makeup. When it comes to a product that you really can't mess up with, I would suggest, at least for me personally, finding something that has a medium buildable coverage, or maybe even sheer to medium buildable coverage. Obviously, you could do something that builds up a little more full coverage, but I personally like to find something right in the middle because I have days where I feel like I need a little more coverage. Other days I'm like, no, I want to go for something more fresh. So I like a flexible kind of a skin product for that, or a foundation, I should say. So today I'm going to be using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh formula. This is their Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I'm mixing two shades on the back of my hand, Fair 25W and Light 40N. And I'll show you, I'm doing about that much of each. I'm gonna mix them together on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna dot this on the complexion. I like to focus the coverage on my cheeks since that's where I have the most redness. And less is more when it comes to foundation. I feel like it's easier, especially with a more buildable formula, to go back in and build coverage where you feel like you might need more, versus like pumping the foundation directly onto the complexion and then realizing you applied too much and trying to take it off. It's so much easier to do it this way, like dotting and then buffing with a brush. I'm using my Causemetics Love is the Foundation brush to blend this out. I'm dipping the brush into the back of my hand just on the edge, and I'm kind of stippling a little more coverage over the cheeks again. Same thing on this side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of what's left on the back of my hand with my Flower Beauty sponge, and I'm gonna just press the foundation down into the complexion. Okay, I feel like everything looks nice and blended. Everything feels secure thanks to that primer, but things are still looking natural, which I love. I got the coverage that I wanted, but you can still see my skin in certain areas, which is what I personally really like. I feel like less is more with foundation, especially if you're worried about the wear throughout the day. Sometimes less is more because when your products start to wear off, if there's a thicker layer of foundation on the skin, it's gonna be a more obvious difference between your actual skin and the foundation layer on top. If you do something a little bit more sheer, when it starts to wear off, it's almost undetectable. So again, less is more when building up your foundation, but I like something that's gonna have that customized coverage where you can kind of build it up or sheer it out depending on how you're feeling or how how your skin's doing, whatever it might be. So let's go into concealer. I'm going to be using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. You can't go wrong with this. Honestly, it's been a staple and I feel like so many people's makeup collections, so many makeup artist kits. It really is a wonderful tried and true formula. I'm going to go ahead and just dot this underneath the eyes. And I'm going to use a brush. This is from Rare Beauty. And I'm just going to start blending this out, focusing the product in the areas where I feel like I do need a little bit of coverage and a little bit of brightening. Recently too, another trick that I feel like has really been working with concealer at least is to bring out the concealer underneath the eyes, but I haven't been really blending it up against the lash line like I used to. I find that that makes things look way more natural as well. All right, so now that that's blended out with my brush, I'm gonna go back in with my sponge and just press that underneath the eyes to give it a little bit more of a fresh, dewy finish. I am gonna take what's left on the brush and just kind of conceal the discoloration on my eyelids. All right, next I'm going to take my current favorite powder. You guys know I've been talking about this so much recently. It's the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder. I personally feel like you can't go wrong with a powder like this. It's got that perfect consistency. It's not too thin, it's also not too heavy. So that's why I love it. I feel like you can really build it up if you want to, but it never looks overdone. So I'm just going to take this and set the concealer underneath the eyes with a smaller brush. I'm also using that to set the T-zone, and I'm also setting the brows, taking what's left and setting the eyelids too. And then I'm going to take a fluffier brush and just press the same powder into the outsides of the face. This is optional, but for me, I feel like this helps with the longevity of my foundation, especially for me personally, because again, I have the most redness on my cheeks. So I like to make sure to set the coverage so it doesn't slip and slide throughout the day. But then, you guys know, taking my sponge and going back over the powder really makes such a difference. This is another step that you just can't mess up with, I feel like, unless you're really swiping. So be sure to just like gently press. But if you're using a damp sponge, and make sure that it's not completely sopping wet, the leftover water in the sponge will really, really help pick up the excess powder while still allowing you to set your face with powder. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, honestly. All right, the complexion looks so fresh in my opinion. I'm really happy with how everything looks right now. All right, moving into bronzer. I feel like a baked bronzer formula is so foolproof and very, very easy to use and blend out. This has been one of my favorites for so long. If you've watched my videos, you know I love this. This is also from Flower Beauty. It's their Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer. I usually mix 2 shades. We'll see how I feel about mixing 2 shades after I apply this, but this is in the shade Sunrise L1. I love the little bits of pearl that it has in it, so it's gonna add that bit of dimension and color back to the complexion, but it's not gonna look flat. So let's just start by applying this on the cheeks, up along the forehead as well. I truly feel like this formula just like blends itself out. It has been a favorite of mine for forever. I love applying bronzer. I feel like that's really where things start to look normal and things start to look balanced. So I'm just applying it kind of in a 3E shape. So I always like to go on the forehead, obviously, cheeks, and then along the jawline here and then down the neck. I also take it across the nose. I don't do like a contour or anything. I feel like something that's more natural is just to kind of dust it across the nose as if the sun is hitting you. I think that makes things look really nice and healthy. Yeah, I'm really happy with how just using 1 shade works today. I feel like because it's winter time, I don't need to layer up the warmer bronzer. I think this looks nice and natural. All right, I'm gonna go into brows now. I'm gonna use my Benefit Brow Pencil. I'm gonna do this off camera. You guys know this is like my go-to brow pencil, so no surprises there. So I'm just gonna fill my brows in and then we will revisit the complexion and complete that. Okay, brows are filled in. We're gonna move back to the skin and kind of finish that up. I wanted to use a Becca highlighter. I feel like you really can't go wrong with these highlighters. They're gonna give you a gorgeous glow that's really buildable. So whether you, again, are someone who wants something just a little bit more sheer and natural for every day, just use a little bit less of this. If you're someone who prefers a little bit more of a blinding glow, of course you can build this up. So I'm using the shade Moonstone. And again, this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. And I'm just gonna start buffing this on the high points of the face. A little bit truly goes a long way with this. I'm gonna take a tiny bit down the center of the nose and on the cupid's bow, and then a little bit right above the brows. And then again, I always go back in with my sponge, especially over highlight, and just press this down into the complexion. I feel like this helps make everything look more effortless and more skin-like. All right, next up is blush. I feel like I have used these Flower Pots blushes from Flower Beauty for years now, but they just recently launched a couple of new shades and I am in love with this one right here. So here's what the shade looks like. This is called Spiced Petal. You guys know, if you've tried this formula, it is so beautiful. I feel like when it comes to a matte formula especially, which this particular shade is a matte finish, again, you can't mess it up. I feel like sometimes when a blush has a little bit more shimmer in it, you do have to be a little more cautious and conscious of the placement of the blush, especially if you have larger pores or texture. But when it comes to a matte blush like this one, it really just enhances everything without emphasizing anything. So I'm just gonna use this on the apples of the cheeks. It's a gorgeous peachy shade, which I love. I always apply it initially and then go back in with my powder brush on the edges. I'm obsessed with this blush shade. I think it's so pretty. I'm actually going to use the same exact blush to start to create a little bit of an eye look. So I'm just gonna apply this in the crease, and then I'm gonna take the same brush and I'm gonna pinch it and apply it closer to the lash line on those lower lashes. You could also use bronzer if you don't wanna use blush on your eyes, but it creates such an effortless effect having those tones that match on the eyes that are literally the same as what you're wearing on your face because it's the same product. It's a great way to complement your eyes to your blush. I always get questions about that, which I've been thinking of making a more in-depth video. Let me know if you guys would like to see something like that on how to match like your lipstick and your blush to your eyeshadow. I always get those questions. So this is definitely a great tip to kind of incorporate what's on your complexion into your eye look. But let me know if you would like to see videos like that that are kind of catered more toward specific makeup questions. Leave a comment down below and let me know. For me, I have always loved a good sparkly one and done eyeshadow. My personal favorites are from Bodyography. My favorite shade from Bodyography is the shade Sparkler. Now these are their glitter pigments. I'm just gonna take this on my finger and just gently apply this all over the eyelid. This is another effortless way to really amp up your eye look and make things look more special without even trying, basically. If you're someone who doesn't like more of a glittery finish on the eyes, you could definitely get a similar effect by using a brush or your fingers and applying the highlighter that you used on the high points of your face to your eyelid. And that'll kind of brighten up this lid area. And again, it'll save you time if you're already using that highlighter on the complexion. Obviously, I feel like a powder highlighter would work best for this. Cream highlighters might crease, but that is another option if you are wanting to recreate this look. I'm just gently gonna take my small powder brush and buff everything away that fell down underneath the eyes. I am going to dip back into my Moonstone highlighter and use this to brighten up the inner corner of the eye, as well as a little bit along this lower lash line. And of course, I'll apply a little bit right underneath the highest point of the brow. Now it's time for mascara. I feel like you personally know what mascara is reliable, what mascara you personally can't go wrong with. For me, that is the Thrive Causemetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. I love that this is a tubing formula. It doesn't smudge or flake on me, which is always a must. I'm gonna use the shade Crystal, which is actually a black-brown shade, so it's gonna be a little bit softer, which I feel like is another tip that works great for if you're ever in a situation where you want to try to wear makeup but you don't want it to look too over the top. Using a softer colored mascara really helps with that. And you can see this one isn't so soft that you don't get definition. It definitely has that black in it as well. But if you look really close, or if I'm in sunlight, you can tell that it's a little bit more of a brown, which just, again, softens the look. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away any foundation that got on the lips. Next up is lip liner. I feel like lip liner is something that a lot of people skip. I personally feel like it's something that really helps to complete a look and polish your lips, which is essential for me. So when looking for a lip liner, I think it's best to find something that's pretty close to your natural lip color. So for me today, I'm gonna use the ColourPop Lippie Pencil in the shade BFF. And I'm gonna line the lips with this. You'll see that it's a little bit deeper than my lip color, but it's not too far off. So it's almost like my lips, but better. I'm just lightly filling this in. I don't want to build up the lip liner on the lips too much because I want my lips to feel pretty lightweight. So I'm taking my finger and blending in that lip liner to avoid overloading the product on the lips. For lipstick, I'm so excited about these. I have been wearing these nonstop recently, you guys. It's one of those products where you wish you would have known about them earlier because they're just that good. So when it comes to a lipstick that's gonna be foolproof, I like to look for something with buildable pigment as well, just in case I wanna kind of sheer it out. But I also want something that's not gonna be too matte, not too shiny, just something right in the middle. And I feel like this is definitely that. I personally like to have a little bit of like a balmy feel on my lips. I like to feel like my lips are being hydrated, but I also love the the look of lipstick. I just personally feel really beautiful in a lipstick, so let me just show you what I'm talking about. These are also from Flower Beauty. They are stunning, you guys. These are called the Perfect Pout Moisturizing Lipsticks. They're actually newer to Flower Beauty. They're one of their newer launches, and I am obsessed. So I have 2 shades here. I'm trying to figure out if I want to mix them or just use one. My favorite shade, the one that I get the most use out of, is definitely Buttercup. It's this gorgeous kind of pinky peach nude, which I think will match really nicely with the blush. But I also love this one right here, which is a little bit deeper. It's called Blush Rose. Ugh, I just feel like you can't go wrong with either. I think I'll maybe mix them. I'll start off with the darker shade called Blush Rose. And again, I don't want to overload my lips with product, so I'm going to kind of tap this in and then just rub my lips together. I'm already in love with that color. That's perfect for if you want a little bit more definition on the lips. This shade is a bit lighter. This one again is Buttercup, which I also love to use all over the lips too, but if I can't decide, I will just layer these together, and I'll layer this one in the center to create a bit of dimension and a little extra shine, because these do have a really nice, comfortable satin finish. I'm just taking my finger and making sure the edges are nice and blurred. These lipsticks have seriously become some of my favorites, and they have so many beautiful colors too. So if you are into more reds or corals or deeper browns, then you'll find something for you, definitely. But these are by far my 2 favorite shades for me personally. All right, I'm loving how things are looking. I feel very put together, but nothing was difficult to work with, which is so ideal, especially if you're busy, you don't have time to really do too much in the morning. A routine like this is always nice to kind of have your set go-to products that are really reliable, easy to work with, you know, things that kind of do all the work for you. So let's step back and assess the situation. I do feel like I really like how things are looking. I am going to take what's left on the blush brush, just add a bit more to the cheeks, maybe a little across the nose. I'm just taking what's left on the bronzer brush and adding a bit more to the forehead. And then I feel like I like how everything else looks, so I'm gonna go ahead and set the face. I have been using this nonstop recently, the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I just love, again, how foolproof this is. I don't feel like you get too dewy of a finish. It's also not mattifying, but it does help with the longevity of your makeup. Plus the aerosol can helps to not get those droplets on your face. It's just a really nice, easy to use product. So I'm just gonna spray this all over. And kind of let that set for a second, and then I'm going to use my sponge again to just press that into the complexion to make things look even more dewy and natural. And as always, I'm going to set my brows with my Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. All right, so that completes this makeup look. I love how I feel in this makeup look. I love how it turned out. It's very much me, but a little bit more put together. If I wasn't talking also, I feel like it would take me literally no time to create, and I just love looks like this that just enhance my natural beauty. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial. Again, thank you so much to Flower Beauty for sponsoring today's video. I love them. And if you guys want to check out some of the Flower Beauty products that I mentioned today, again, the links will be in the description box. Again, make sure to take advantage of the CVS Epic Beauty event so that you can get a buy one, get one 50% off deal on the Flower Beauty products. And let me know what you guys end up picking up if you do pick up anything and how you love them. I hope you guys love these products as much as I do. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.